Holy Land. Can anything prevent all-out war? NBC Nightly News tomorrow.
Friday, the perfect wife and mother until a fatal car accident. But had she been murdered before the car crash? Dateline Friday, 9/8 Central on NBC.
In depth tonight, the deadly smallpox virus thought to be obsolete, but now there is growing anxiety about a possible new bioterror attack of some sort, which is why it was such big news that a French company has just revealed an astonishing find: more than 70 million doses of smallpox vaccine, long forgotten in its freezers. Also tonight, new research that shows the small amount of vaccine available in the U.S. may be available to protect many more people than originally thought. NBC News Chief Science Correspondent Robert Bazell tonight on the growing debate over the best way to protect Americans from this awful disease.
It has been a terrifying prospect, the threat of a smallpox attack with only 15 million doses of vaccine on hand. But the studies out today on hundreds of volunteers prove the existing vaccine can be diluted extensively and still provide adequate protection.
The supply of vaccine can be stretched considerably, at least 1 to 5 and perhaps 10 times, to give us perhaps as many as 150 million doses.
And hundreds of millions of fresh doses will be ready by the end of the year. So now the questions are, who gets the vaccine and when?
If, in fact, there is a bioterrorism attack with smallpox, the potential consequences could be devastating.
Expert estimates range from 100,000 to 1 million deaths. A big reason? An infectious disease for which most Americans have no immunity. Immunizations stopped in this country in 1972. For now, the government plans to respond to a smallpox attack with the same strategy used to eliminate the disease in the late 1970s. Quarantine those infected and vaccinate everyone they've been in contact with. But many worry whether mandatory quarantine could work in modern times in an urban environment before panic overwhelms the public health system. That is why many health experts, inside and outside the government, are starting to discuss mass vaccinations now. The problem? Smallpox vaccine has far more side effects than most of the shots we're used to these days. 1 in a million dies from it, and hundreds get seriously ill. Officials say people need to understand that.
Do they really understand what the risk is? And if they do, are they willing to take that risk? And if that turns out to be the case, then you might want to rethink a particular public health policy.
Difficult questions, but definite progress in the effort to protect Americans from the worst of the bioterrorist threats. Robert Bazell, NBC News, New York.
And up next when we continue, when the boss thinks you might be too old for the job, tonight fighting for respect in a tight job market.
Do you know the warning signs of osteoporosis? Unfortunately, there aren't any. It's a silent disease with no symptoms unless a bone breaks. So ask your doctor about a painless bone density test. And if Fosamax is right for you. Fosamax is for postmenopausal women at risk for or with